Hi everyone, Leslie McDonnell here with Remax Select Properties. I want to share with you the snap stats. So here we're looking at September 2019, what happened in Metro Vancouver. So the downtown core, that's the condos and townhouse market, we see that overall we're at a 23% sales ratio, which is a low sellers market. So we are still in sellers territory. Over the past 3 months, we've been seeing sales increase more and more. That said, prices still remain fairly on the sort of downward trend. When we look at the prices here, we can see the main chunk is that 400 to 500 is essentially where the biggest activity on the low end is happening. A couple below, but not very many. Higher end, we can see the 1 million to 1.25 range has really been a sweet spot in the month of September 2019, where there were 51 on the market, 30 of those homes sold, putting it at a 59% sales ratio. So that's a good seller's market. Down here, they kind of do a little market summary for us. So again, reiterating that it's 23% sales ratio. Now, homes on average are selling 5% below list price. So that's telling us that there's a good level of negotiating that's happening in the market and potentially some chances to get some great deals. Sellers' best bet's going to be those Yaletown one-bedroom properties. Buyers, if you're looking at that 1.75 to 2 million in Cole Harbour 3-bedroom properties, those are where we're seeing potentially more opportunities for greater negotiating. If we look over at the detached market, west side, so this is going to be your single family homes on the west side. Overall, we are a buyer's market. There were 649 on the market, 61 of those sold, putting us at a 9% sales ratio. Overall, Fairview, Falls Creek, we didn't see any sales at all. And looks like the biggest here was Kitsilano with 27 homes on the market, 7 of those selling, putting it at a buyer's or seller's market at 26% sales ratio. Over on the pricing, we can see nothing is selling for under 1.5, and even then only a few. 2 million seems to be sort of where you're getting the more activity, and then upwards. We did actually have a couple of sales of 5 million or greater. Now, interesting though, look at the inventory. There are 230 homes on the market right now that are over $5 million on the Vancouver West Side detached. Only 2 of those sold. So if you're looking at the high end, if you've got the extra dollars, there is opportunities there. But again, more looking at, you're starting at around 2 million for a detached on the west side. Little summary here. So homes are selling on average 9% below list price. So here we're really starting to see, I think almost maybe some sellers might be listing a little high in understanding that people like to do a lot of negotiating. So that might be some strategies. Personally, I find listing, around the price that you want to get the value of the home. But it really does depend. Some people really like to negotiate in markets where that's possible. Looking over at the attached, so this is going to be condos on the west side. Little bit of a different story. We're in a balanced market, almost getting into that seller's market territory, not quite. Almost 900 homes on the market, 160 of those sold. Little up there. Okay, so we're back. We can see that from, pretty heavy sales ratios throughout. Southlands, 2 out of 2 sold, putting it 100%. Over in Mount Pleasant, there were 7 on the market, 3 of those sold. Kitsilano, again, super hot neighborhood, 103 on the market, 23 sold, putting it just at a buyer or seller's market right there. Looking at price points, we are seeing some things sell for, 4 of them sold between 300 and 400. Between 400 and 500, there were 8. Then again, 500 to 600 is sort of when the sweet spots start happening. There were 29% sales ratio, 28 sold between 600 and 700,000, giving it a 37% sales ratio. So, and then it really tapers off when you get up to that sort of 2 million-ish, a lot slower in the sales. Overall, homes are selling 2% below list price, so not as much negotiating, maybe a little sharper pricing on the seller's side. Really just depends. So looking again at detached houses in the east side, we've got a lot more activity than on the west side. So remember, the west side was only at 9% sales ratio. On the east side, we've got 18%. There were 587 homes on the market, and 108 of those sold. Looking at the different neighborhoods, Hastings Sunrise, 47% sales ratio, 17 on the market, 8 of those sold. Southwest Marine, it's only a 2-to-1 ratio, so it's 50%. Looking at just straight numbers, we can see that Killarney is a really hot neighborhood with 15 sales, making it a 32% sales ratio. Looking over the numbers. So remember, over on the west side, we were, starting at that $2 million price range. Here we're seeing sales in the million, the 1.25. Between $1 million and 1.25, there were 29 sales with a 52% sales ratio. So your money seems to go quite a bit further if you go on that east side of Vancouver. Looking at the sales price, we're at 7% below list price. So still some heavy negotiating going on, but chances to get into a detached home at quite a bit lower level. And again, when we look at that 5 million or greater, there are only 4 homes on the east side versus 230 on the west. Now looking at the attached properties on the west side, we've got a 31% sales ratio. So this is one of the highest sales ratios we've seen in any of the markets. So 172 homes with 547 inventory that's sold. So a lot more activity on the east side. And again, it has to do with that more value for your money. Looking at, there was even a sale for under 300,000. It was just one, but it still happened. For the 300,000 to 400,000, there were 9. That 400,000 to 500,000, there were 39. So we hadn't seen any numbers like that under 500,000. So if you're looking for that little more entry level, trying to get into the market, here's a neighborhood where we're starting to see those prices come down, and people are putting pen to paper and purchasing homes. Overall, homes are selling 1% above list price. So this is showing us that there's actually some multiple offers happening. If things are going over the list price, that means people are paying more than what's asking. Very often it's because they are in competition and they want to see their value go. Just wrap things up a little bit. The market speedo here, which is again in the newsletter that I've got for you, you could see 17% homes are selling, 17% sales ratio. So right in a balanced market. We've got almost 7,300 listings on the market, over 1,200 sales, and 8% on average below list price. So moreover, on a general level, we're seeing negotiating happen. But if we bring it down to a micro level, you can see that there are different neighborhoods where there's more activity. And then very lastly, the real estate board gives us this great little benchmark to see what's happening. The benchmark price for detached for all of Vancouver, including east and west, is 1.4. Average is 58 days on market, so just about 2 months to sell a detached home. Townhouses benchmark is going to be that sort of 767, 500, so not quite in between 750, 800. And then condos, that bench price is around that 650. Now that doesn't differentiate between 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, more. And if you've got whatever you're specifically looking for, we would delve into it that way. So thank you very much for taking the time. It's been great. If you've got any questions about what's happening in the market, how that relates to you personally, by all means, give me a call. I'd be happy to share with you my insights and my expertise. And I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks so much.